guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are going to do a makeup tutorial on this particular look, which is my take on the fox eyes trend. So I used one palette to achieve this look and I love how it came out. If you'd like to see how I achieved this look, just keep on watching. And before we get into the video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. If you love makeup, you would love it here, and I would love to have you as part of my family here on YouTube. Our community is growing. It's so great. Also go and check me out on Instagram as well. I will have my handles on the screen for you guys to go and check me out. And without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. Okay, so diving straight into it, the first product I'm going to use is the Tatcha The Silk Canvas Primer. I really want a flawless base for my skin, so I'm going to dive into this one, just grabbing a little bit of that product and placing that on the skin. So next, I have quite a few spots on my face at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're hormonal breakouts. So I'm going to cover them up with my tried and true NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Custard. I've talked about this like 100 times on my channel. I love it. I think it's so good for coverage. So I'm just going to dip into that and then just cover my spots. Has anyone else had like severe breakouts since they've been at home? Because I know that I've been struggling with them so badly, it's insane. For my foundation today, I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. This one is in the shade Cashew. I've talked about this on my channel as well. It's so incredible. If you get the chance to get your hands on this particular foundation, I highly recommend that you pick it up. And I'm just going to apply that with a beauty blender. So now I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. This one is in the shade 120. I used this particular concealer the other day on my future mother-in-law when we were doing mature age makeup at my makeup school. That was before I graduated. Like, I've now officially graduated. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, we were doing mature age makeup and I used this on her and it was so hydrating on her skin. It was actually surprising because for me, I always thought that this was quite a drying concealer. It was just so interesting that it worked so well on her skin type. And then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I actually really need to try it on me. I thought it would be better for people with oily to combo skin, but maybe it works better for people that have dry skin. I'm not entirely sure. The powder I'm going to use today is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. This is in the shade Pound Cake. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and then press that into the skin. So I can't tell if it's the concealer or if it's the powder that is drying out my under eyes, but I don't feel super hydrated, that's for sure. Like, I don't feel like my skin is looking as hydrated and as nice as what my mother-in-law's skin looked when she had it done, but I also used a different powder. I have a feeling I liked it for a while there, but then now that I'm looking at it up close, I have a feeling it's gonna break away really, really quickly throughout the day. So I don't know, I'll watch it and I will get back to you guys and let you know what my thoughts are. I'm going to do my bronzer, and today I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer in Shady Biz. So I haven't used this one in a while actually. Happy with that. So now I'm going to contour my nose. I'm just going to use exactly the same bronzer, and then I'm just going to use a flat top brush. It takes me 2 seconds to do and it makes a world of difference. Going into blush today, I'm going to use another MAC blush. This one is in Margin. I love this blush. I think it's so beautiful. I'm just popping that on the cheeks. Okay, so blush is on. Oh, I think that's such a beautiful color. Oh, I love this shade from MAC. Like, literally MAC has all of my favorite blushes. I'm going to use another little bit of MAC. I'm going to bring it back with the Soft and Gentle from MAC. I've had this for like 100 years. Like, I think this was from like the beginning of time for me, like the beginning of makeup. What I'm going to do, just to make sure it really pops, is I'm going to spray my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist and just give my skin a bit of hydration before we go into highlighter. Just going to highlight the tops of my cheekbones. Oh, such an OG highlighter. It brings back so many memories. Let me know in the comments below if you have this highlighter or had it at some point. Mine is 100% expired, but girl, I'm still gonna use her. She's worth too much to me, like nostalgia wise, to let go. Oh, I love this. I actually forgot how much I love this. Such a nice highlighter. Like, can you see that glow? Like, I just feel so much more healthy already just by looking in the viewfinder. My bronzer looks crazy. I don't understand why it looks so crazy on camera. Okay, we're just gonna have to ignore my bronzer because I have no idea why it looks so full on. It looks pretty ridiculous, but you know what? Whatever. Okay, so let's do the brows. I love doing the brows. I feel like it makes such a difference to your face. So I'm just going to brush up the hairs. I'm thinking of doing a tutorial on how I do my brows because I feel like they've changed a lot recently. I am going to do my brows a little bit different in this video just because we are doing that fox eye look because we're looking for a bit more of a straight eye. It's super popular right now. I'm thinking of doing a detailed eyebrow routine just so that I can go into depth about the products I use and how I use them and stuff like that. But for now, I'm going to do my brows off camera because they take me a while, and then I will come back and we will do the eyes. Okay, so the eyebrows are now on. The products that I used were the Benefit Foolproof Brow Powder, the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3, and then I also use the 24-hour Brow Setter, which is a clear brow gel. Pretty happy with how they turned out, so hopefully looking a bit more symmetrical than they have in other videos. I'm really trying to get my brows a little bit more aligned because they're two completely different shapes. So yeah, did my best there. So now we're going to move on to the eyes. So we already primed it earlier with the concealer. So we used the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter concealer on the lids. So I don't really feel like there is a need to put another primer down. The palette that we're going to use for today's fox eye makeup look is the Sultry palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. A lot of these shades you can get in other palettes. They're not particularly, I don't know, groundbreaking, I suppose. It's a process. Stay with me, but I'm going to zoom you guys in and we're going to start the eyes. Okay, so now we're all nice and close and zoomed in, and you can see just how terrible my hair really looks. So what we're going to do is we're going to map out the shape that we want, and we're going to use the shade Twig from this palette, which is just this one here. I should have all of the shades and everything on the screen so you guys can follow along if I don't point it out. We're going to create the shape that we want, so pointing outwards towards the eyebrow, and then we're going to shape that in. So we're going out like a wing from the corner of our eyes and going upwards, and then we're going to bring that back in and push that through the crease. So we're creating a wing effect, and then what we're going to do is we're going to blow that out even further later on. And what we want is it to be heavier on the outside and then go softer onto the inside. Not quite sure if I've mentioned it in any of my other videos, but I actually only have like 30% vision in this eye. When I'm doing this eye, I actually find it incredibly hard to do, and that's why usually one eye is a little bit messier than the other, is because I actually can't see very well. So we've got the mapping down for the eye look. What I'm going to do from here is we want to make sure that we keep the inner part still quite light. So I'm going to go in with another fluffy brush, and then I'm going to go into the shade Dystopian, which is just this darker brown right here. Literally any darker brown will be fine. Like, you can do this with any colors as long as you're like fading them out properly. So what I'm going to do is focus that in that outer V part, and then follow that wing-like shape that we made earlier, and dragging part of that up into the crease as well, just like that. See how we're still keeping that wing sort of shape there? And remember, this is going to be quite rough to start with. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to push that fox eye look right out, but for now we're just kind of mapping out the eyes. Okay, so now we're starting to get a little bit of definition there. What I'm going to do now is take that same brush that we had Dystopian on, and what we're going to do is take a little bit of Twig again, and we're going to push that right out up to our temples. Can you see what I mean? Like, we're really fading that right up. It doesn't have to be perfect again because we will be cleaning all of this up. We've got that like lifted effect. So remember how I said it can be a bit messy at this stage because we are going to clean it up. we're nearly at that cleanup phase. So remember to trust the process. So what I'm going to do is take a small pencil brush, and then I'm going to go back into Twig from that palette, and I'm going to connect that wing to my lower lash line. So see how that just automatically gives you that kind of fox look. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back into Twig again, because I feel like it needs to sit a bit higher on my eyes, and then connecting that out to that wing shape that we made earlier. So what I like to do from here is actually clean up under the eye, so we will lose a little bit of our highlighter there. And then I like to take like a Morphe sponge, just because it's got that sharp edge there, and I like to just use that concealer to clean up those edges. I think I'm going to end up cutting the crease, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that dystopian on the outer V of both eyes, and then up into the crease, and then putting part of that onto the eyelid as well. So I'm going to cut the crease from here. I'm just going to use that same Fenty Beauty concealer to do this, picking some of that up, and I'm going to basically reshape the eyelid. So I can't confidently turn around to you and say that the Fenty Beauty concealer is the best concealer for cutting the crease, but I mean, we got there in the end. So what we're going to do now is place a really, really bright color on the lids, and I think I'm going to go with the shade Cyborg in the Sultry palette. I just think it looks really cool. I'm going to spray my brush. So I'm going to pick up that product Cyborg again, spray my brush, and then try and place that. Oh, that's such a nice shade. I'm obsessed with that shade. I love that. It definitely needs to be wet in order to create the definition that I think anyone would be looking for in an eyeshadow. So I'm completely obsessed with that Cyborg shade. So what I'm going to do now is just to marry the two shades together. I'm just going to use Twig from that Sultry palette and just blend the two together so they look seamless. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to jump into the palette and use the shade Birch, and then just use that to diffuse the outer edges of the eyelids, just to soften it out ever so slightly using circular motions. And then just because I really like that shade Birch in there with the eyelid, I'm just going to use that to blend underneath the eyes as well, just to give a little bit of warmth there too. Okay, so I'm pretty stoked with how that's looking at the moment. So it's got that real sharp edge coming up into the corners, which I'm really stoked about. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to use the MAC Coffee Charcoal Liner. I believe this is what that is. Yeah, it's just the coffee eye pencil. So I'm just going to use that in the inner waterline. So what I'm going to do from here is my inner corner highlight. I'm going to use the shade Pearl from the Sultry palette, but I'm going to spray my face just so there's a lot of hydration there. And then I'm just going to dip into Pearl, picking up some of that product and then popping that in the inner corner, because I do still want my inner corner to pop. So now I'm going to pop on my mascara. My mascara today is going to be the Damn Girl Mascara by Too Faced. Just popping a layer of that on. We are going to be using falsies today, so it doesn't really matter how much you put on. This is more or less just to get it to blend. I feel like as soon as you do lashes, like your eyes just completely change. So I'm going to use the Socialized lashes that I just showed you. I'm going to jump off camera and then pop them on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the lashes are now on. I used those Socialized lashes. They're in the type Vixen, and then I also use the MAC Giga Black Lash Mascara for my lower lash line. But now I'm going to zoom you guys back out and we're going to do the lips. Okay, so sorry if the angle has slightly changed a little bit. I'm kind of tossing up what kind of lip I want to do. I really want to use a Stila Stay All Day liquid lip. I've got the shades Caramello and Barchi. I'm not quite sure which one I want to go for. I feel like we're going for something a little bit different today, so I'm going to use Barchi. Caramello is like one of my all-time favorites, so I know it looks beautiful, but I'm going to use Barchi today, which is like a purpley tone. What I love about a liquid lip is that you don't actually have to use a lip liner, and I think my all-time favorite liquid lips is definitely the Stila ones. Now that is a little bit dark for my liking, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Caramello, but I'm going to use it in the middle and then tap it out with my finger. And I think that is going to conclude this look. So this is my fox eye sort of look. It elongates the eyes upwards, and for somebody like me who does have hooded deep set eyes, this allows for us to get a wing effect without having to actually do eyeliner, which I really appreciate. So I love how this came out. Let me know if you liked this video, if you like this tutorial. I'm hoping to do more makeup tutorials coming up using different techniques for different eye shapes and stuff like that, because I know that a lot of different people have different eye shapes and certain looks would look fantastic on them versus others. Also, let me know if you like my hair back like this. I mean, I feel a bit funny having my hair back in like a ponytail versus having it down, but I mean, it's growing on me slowly, but let me know. So do not forget to subscribe before you leave if you like my channel, if you like me, and also do not forget to check out my previous video, which was a June favorites video. I have a lot of awesome products to talk to you guys about in that particular video, so I will have that linked up in the cards and in the description box below for you guys, and my Instagram handles will be on the screen for you again to go check me out. And that is pretty much everything from me. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks guys, bye.